Hello, and welcome to another episode of News Bites, where I bring you all the Good Omens news and social media updates that you might have missed. So let's jump right in. Many of you may be aware that the director for seasons 1 and 2, Douglas McKinnon, left the project last year, sometime after the release of season 2, but before season 3 was officially announced. There was no official statement made that he had left the project. It was discovered by someone asking if the sets would be left up after season 3 so that fans might come and visit them, and his response was, "I'm not involved with this show anymore." Soon after, Neil responded to questions about what had happened with a simple, "Douglas has moved on to other projects." It turns out that Douglas had also left Anansi Boys, and people noticed that he had removed both IPs from his social media profile, despite Good Omens Season 1 having garnered several nominations and awards. As an executive producer and co-showrunner, McKinnon had a lot of creative input into both Season 1 and Season 2 of Good Omens, and his mysterious exit caused a lot of concern and speculation among fans. I say this all not to refan those speculative flames, but simply to explain the history in this case. He was an excellent director for both Seasons 1 and 2, and we were lucky to have him. The lead actors, of course, Michael Sheen and David Tennant, or David Tennant and Michael Sheen if you prefer, are confirmed for Season 3, and of course the main showrunner, Neil Gaiman, is staying on as showrunner and writer. I trust David and Michael with these roles. They both know them and love them, and I trust Neil with the story. He is doing all of this with loyalty to Terry Pratchett and the original story they plotted together utmost in mind. With all of that talent and continuity and love of this world, I personally feel pretty confident that the tone and feel of the show will remain consistent, and that the quality will remain excellent, and whoever they find to replace Douglas will be someone they feel is capable of filling this role. And speaking of whoever they find, we've had a bit of news on that front. Now, this isn't an official announcement from Amazon, but on April 4th, in response to a fan who seemed concerned that David and Michael had had a falling out, Neil let slip that they already have a new director, and he seems very positive about whoever that might be. Naturally, fans asked who it was, and Neil told us all that we'd have to wait and see. As showrunner, I suspect Neil would have input on the director, and in any case, I feel confident that it's someone he feels happy working with and thinks will do a good job on the final season. With luck, we'll get an official announcement concerning the new director sometime this summer. I know I'll be keeping all my feelers out for any official word on this. About that possible falling out of David and Michael, that concern among some fans seems to have stemmed from a, in my opinion, poorly executed April Fool's joke from Amazon, stating that David Tennant had left the cast. Someone at Amazon must have agreed because they deleted the post a short time later. Neil has reassured us that David and Michael are still very much in love, and he also seems to agree that April Fool's jokes can be simply cruel. So production has not been delayed, and that's good news. As far as where production currently is, Neil has confirmed that filming will not begin in 2024. Aww. Michael Sheen has recently said something very similar, but it's good to have it confirmed. Neil also gave us all another script update in the same post, saying he's more than halfway done. He's making steady progress on the scripts. As late last year, he stated he had all of Episode 1 and part of Episode 6 completed, and at the end of January, he said he had turned in one of the episodes, and it was very well received, and that he also liked it very much, so I'm guessing that must have been Episode 2? If he's now more than halfway done, we're looking at him being in the midst of writing Episode 4, and taking roughly 1 to 2 months per episode. But it is a creative process, not something on a fixed schedule, so that might vary with the final episodes. Still, I'm hoping that we'll get some official confirmation when he's done writing all 6 episodes. When that happens, this is the place to get that news. I'm also really hoping, just my own personal preference, and totally just a guess here, that we might hear about those scripts being completed sometime during IneffableCon 5 at the end of July. Fingers crossed! Speaking of IneffableCon, the hosts Rachel and Bethany recently had a lovely article about them published in The Guardian. It's a beautifully romantic story, and I recommend you go check it out for yourself. The link is in the description below. If you're interested in attending IneffableCon, it's an amazing event, and virtual tickets are still available. I am not sponsored or anything, I just want more fans to have this amazing experience. The proceeds of the tickets go to Alzheimer's research. You can find a link to the official website below as well. In David Tennant news, the actor was nominated for Best Actor Olivier for his role in Macbeth. The award will be presented at the Royal Albert Hall this Sunday, April 14th, and can be viewed on ITV. The presenters were just announced, and you'll never guess who's on the list. Michael Sheen. I do hope it's Michael presenting the award to David, and I also hope I can find a way to watch this event. And you too, dear viewers. Credit to Fuck Yeah Good Omens for this tidbit. In Michael Sheen-related news, he recently appeared on a BBC One special, The Assembly, where he was interviewed by a group of neurodivergent and learning disabled people. They asked some very insightful and interesting questions. Not going easy on Michael at all, including asking him about the age difference between he and his partner Anna, how often he cries, what his favorite Disney film is, what he thinks about AI, and what the kiss was like on the set of Good Omens, and who he thinks is the rudest celebrity. Michael was a wonderful interviewee, and the entire group of interviewers is marvelous. The show is receiving praise from critics, audiences, and participants. It's really an amazing half hour of TV, and I recommend you check out the entire program on the BBC One, though if you're elsewhere in the world, it might be tricky to find. And although not new, Neil did recently reblog this interview with Rich Keeble, who plays Mr. Arnold, the music shop owner. It's an interesting interview, and he reveals some fun set details, like the fact that the set for the music shop and the shop on the Wickaber Street set are different locations. The Wickaber Street doors lead to nothing. Mr. Keeble expressed interest in returning for Season 3. We've seen Neil hint at the return of a few actors and characters from both seasons, and maybe this reblog is a little hint in that direction for Mr. Arnold. As small a role as the Wickaber Street merchants played in Season 2, they were all such characters it would be fun to see them all again in Season 3. If you'd like to read that full interview by Swirly Words, the link is in the description as well. We do have reason to believe we'll be seeing Sandalphon, or at the very least the actor Paul Chahidi, return for Season 3, as Neil said he was writing something for him. Michael McKean, who played Witchfinder Sergeant Shadwell, has also had a hint of a possible return. Whether as his original character or as someone new, we can only guess. We haven't had word of other cast members quite yet, but if I was a bettin' woman, I would bet we will also see actors Maggie Service and Nina Sosanya return, probably in their Season 2 shopkeeper roles, but perhaps as new roles. The Wickaber Street traders might serve as the connective tissue between the seasons, but on the other hand, Neil seems to enjoy recasting these actors as new characters each season. The same holds true of Miranda Richardson, who played both Madame Tracy in Season 1 and Shax in Season 2. I would bet we will see her again in Season 3, and I'd like to say we'll see her remain Shax, who has the most impeccable sense of style. But I also adore Madame Tracy, so that's a hard one. Could she play both? Actor Reese Shearsmith was also in both Season 1 and 2 as Shakespeare and Furfur respectively, and something tells me we'll see the actor return to play Furfur, who has become an unexpected fan favorite character. Personally, I think we have some clues that indicate we might see Adam return. He'd be quite a bit older now. The young actor, Sam Taylor Buck, doesn't appear to still be working in television, so although he's grown up, I suspect we'd see a different actor play an adult Adam. Would the rest of the them also appear as adults? It might be fun to fan cast this group, say, in their mid-20s. Who would you like to see cast as the them if we see them in Season 3? Let me know, do you have any guesses as to who the director might be, or when Neil might finish the scripts for Season 3? Which actors and characters do you think might return, or would you like to return the most? This kind of speculation, when done in the spirit of fun, gets us all through this limbo period between the official greenlight of Season 3 and the completion of the scripts, or any other official word. Finally, we return to Neil's Tumblr page, where he has expressed that he is looking forward to returning to writing poetry and stories and ending his run working on TV shows. By the sound of it, Good Omens 3 might be his last direct involvement in a television show, although I'm sure we'll continue to see adaptations of his work by other showrunners in the future. Some even in the works right now. Well, thanks for stopping by for News Bites. I hope you enjoyed these little tidbits of news and the fun speculation. If you're new here, I make a variety of Good Omens content. Big news, little news, deep dives into characters, themes, costumes, behind the scenes, and more. Stay tuned in a couple of weeks for a deep dive I've had in the works for a while concerning a pretty big topic, God in Good Omens. If you're interested in joining a community of like-minded folks who like to talk about all things Good Omens, and also share food, art, and fun events in a safe and friendly environment, check out our Discord server linked in the description below. Thank you all to my patrons who make videos like this possible. We're currently working on monthly live events and twice monthly rewatch notes, so if you'd like to join that, it is also linked below. I can't forget to thank my friends who have become my team, even if they don't realize it. Ace reporter Joe Madge, trivia goddess Bentley, event planner extraordinaire Madman D, and all around, always there when you need a hand, Kamapuri. Well, that's it for today. We'll all keep our fingers crossed for more official news soon. I'll see you next time, and as always, thanks for watching.